Hi guys, this is Luai with you from aeschoolonline.com. In this section, you are going to learn several methods of how to bring text into your video or your composition. For example, here you notice that the text is coming just from the middle and then disappearing on the sides. We will go through several projects that will teach you how to do these kind of animations and how to bring in text in fancy ways. Another project that we will do is something like this, where you will learn how to move text, how to use pre-compositions, how to use masks, how to use track mattes, and how to combine them all to create a real motion graphic animation that is really pleasant to the eye and people will really watch it. Another animation that we'll do is this kind of animation where it's using only pre-comps and simple animation from within the pre-comps. You will get that in details. And several methods of how to use the track mattes and how to use the masks. Then we will move on to the challenge I'm proposing. This will be your challenge. Let's see it from the beginning. And you have a motion artist. You notice how the characters are coming in and out, then the screen is changing colors, and there is a hire me or something like this, something that is useful that you can use later on. This is quite beautiful and quite simple to be done, provided that you will go through this section step by step and do this practice and download your project files to be able to follow with me. I hope this will be very useful for you. And of course, if you have any questions, please put them in the question and answer of this section. I will be very happy to answer them. Hi guys, hope you're doing well in this course. This is Luai with you from aeschoolonline.com. I'm very excited to have you in this section. I'm very excited to explain to you about masks, track mattes, and pre-composition that you will use to pop up text on your screen in so many ways. First, I'm gonna go through this lecture where I will explain about masks and their usage. And later on, we will develop slowly to be able to do some great and awesome animations that you will use everywhere. Masks are shapes, but they are different kinds of shapes. Let's have some examples. Let's use the rounded rectangle tool. I'm okay with the fill and so on, and create a shape. Now we create a shape layer that has a rectangle as its shape. That's it. Now if I choose the shape layer and I choose also the shape tool, you notice the option here is highlighted. I can either create a shape or create a mask. By default it is create shape. If I use it, then I will have just another rectangle here, and we'll see this in complex shapes. But if I choose create mask, I will be able to create a mask. Let's choose, for example, the star tool. I can click, press shift, for example. All the manipulation I showed you for creating shapes will work here. If I release now, my shape did not disappear. Here is my shape. You can see it on the blue border, but a mask has been created that's masking everything except the inner of the mask. That's one. This mask is like this. It shows only its inside because it's on add. If I put it on subtract, it will show the inverse. Also, if I have it on add and I use inverted, it will show all the shape layer, and inside there is just a hole. If you look at it, there is a hole. Now that's pretty interesting. Let's go through now editing this mask, and this is very important. Rule of thumb: if you choose your mask and mask one, you will find that the corners or the nodes are squares. When they are squares, it means you can click on any one of them and move your mask. This is pretty important because later on you will start wondering, how do I manipulate the shape of the mask? To edit the mask, now you click just on the layer. You can see it now, they're turned into small circles and there is a big circle. If I click on any node, I can change the shape of the mask. Actually, I can give it any shape. Let's summarize this important point. So when you have circles, you are changing the nodes. You can move them around. Also, you can hold the side and move it out or in anywhere you want. That's the way to do it. Let's say you do that, and then you have a shooting star. But when you are having just rectangles, then you will be able to move the mask around. Cool. So that's very important, and you want to keep it in mind, the circles and the squares, how to edit a mask.
Let's look at inside our mask. If we twirl down mask 1, you will find you have mask path, mask feathering, opacity, and expansion. I will give you an exercise and a very good example about how to use the expansion in the next lecture. For mask path, now you know the path is this colored line, or I don't know what color is it now here. We can change the color and make it very bright green, for example, or yellow. Here you are, now it's yellow. So the mask path is this yellow line. You can copy and paste this one, and also you can animate it. So let's animate this mask. I will keyframe the mask path. As we explained, the mask path is the yellow one. I'll move, for example, to 1 second, and I will start, for example, moving the mask. Let's move it to here and move these nodes. So I need to move the nodes. I will press on the layer. I'll move these nodes here. Then go back and move the mask here. And also move more nodes to show you a good example. Okay. So this path, what will happen? You have a first vertex here. And here also you have a first vertex. It will take that first vertex and put it on the other first vertex. The first vertex is this big square. You can change it, by the way. But for now, just a simple explanation I can give you. It's an advanced level that we'll do later on. If you click on play, you will notice that the whole mask has moved. So it's not just one node or two, the whole thing will be moving. Here you are. This is how you animate a mask. You give it one state, another state. You can give it a third state, for example, coming over here. You can say, okay, this is my third state. Something like this. Okay. And here you have 3 animations that will work together. Okay, this node has jumped. No problem. So this is how you animate your mask. It's very important that you have a good understanding of that. Let's go to feathering. You can see feathering here. If you feather, you will have some kind of blur from the inside and the outside. That's the feathering, how it operates. Sometimes it's extremely good. We will use it. The opacity, you know what this is. And the expansion. Let's take an example about the expansion. I will delete this mask. And simply, I deleted just a node. I will delete the masks altogether. Okay. And I will take a circle, draw a mask, click, for example, in the middle, and here you are. Now, I can come to the mask, keyframe the expansion here, go to 1 second, for example, and make the expansion negative or nil, something like this. Notice what's happening. You have a circle that's growing. That's very cool. If you take the feathering up, now you have even a nicer shape going down. You can invert the keyframes and you have a nice growing one that is very beautiful. You notice the flaring in. You can also move your mask, like we said. We come to mask 1, and we can move it here to center it, make it a bit smaller. To size the mask or to use a free transform, you can double click on the mask and you have the free transform that you can scale down, for example, move, and also you can rotate if you like. This is a circle, it doesn't make sense, but nevertheless it can work. Here you are now. You have created a very nice pop-up. If you come back here and say this is 0 or negative, whatever, here you are. You see it is a very nice animation. Whoop. Cool. Now you have pop-ups. Beautiful. Let's make the timing in between. I press alternate and move them. And notice now you have, disco lights. Thanks for being with me in this lecture. In the next lecture, we're going to apply masks to text. Hi guys, hope you're doing well in this course. This is Loai with you from aeschoolonline.com. Best school for After Effects. I hope so, at least. Okay guys, we are going to tackle in this lecture masks over text, and this is very exciting and very interesting. But you have to know that masks can be tricky sometimes when animated, and the text is also animated. But I would like you to train yourself to become, experts in animating masks and motion graphic. Everything that I will do in this lecture will also work with images and movies and also shapes and layers, anything you want. Fine, let's start. So I have here a motion graphic. This is character Nexus Bold. If you don't have it, it's free, you can download it. And I will increase a bit the leading in between characters, and I will do now for now. Cool. So I will create a mask. I will not go to shapes to create the mask. I will right click, go to mask, that will be the first one, and say new mask. You notice here you have a lot about mask shapes. They are the same one down there. I will say new mask. It will give me a very tight mask on the text layer. To make it a bit bigger, you just come to the mask. You know, your mouse will change to black. Double click on it, hold Control. Now you are in a free edit mode, and just pull it up. You can pull it that way or that way, any way you want. So I'll make it a bit bigger. The reason is I want to make space for the feathering. Fine, that's okay. When I'm done, I will just press enter. Now you want to animate the mask. Come to the layer. If you press M, it will open directly the mask path. After 1 second, I want the mask path to be here. I will keyframe it using the stopwatch to initiate. I come before. Now remember what we said about moving all together the mask. This is a square. It will allow me to move the mask. I will click and press shift and take it up. Now you have a very simple animation with the mask. The mask just comes down. It swipes the characters in. Fine, this is done. This is one single mask. That's very fun. Let me delete this mask and do something more exciting. Now I will create now using the shape layer. I'll create my first mask here. I will only take the first line and I create another mask here. Now I need to move the second mask. I will come to mask path and use the selection tool and move it up a bit. Let's animate now the both masks. I will come to motion graphic, press M. It will open the mask path. Let's say after 1 second, I want them all, here. I will go to the beginning. I will choose the mask path 1. This is the green one. Hold it, hold shift and take it up. Come to mask path 2. This is the red one. Take it and put it down. And here you are. You have a new animation. I'm gonna press MM, get all the mask properties, and select the first mask and the second mask and give the feathering, for example, 15. Here you are. It's very nice. Cool. Now that I have done this, I can press U and get all the keyframes. That's very good. I will press Shift P, and this is where the fun will start, to get the position. At this level here, this time, I want the text to be at this position, so I will keyframe it. Come back here, and I will just take it down, for example. Cool. Now, look at this animation. Is really nice. Cool. So it's pretty easy and pretty simple to use the masks and motion. Now you have to be very careful how you keyframe the mask path. If you make a mistake or the timing is wrong, then the mask path will really move too much or too little with the text. But actually that's it. It's very easy. Let's do the second one. For the second one, I will delete the 2 masks. Okay, and I will delete the position animation. I will come to 1 second here, and what I will do is I will create a ellipse mask just here. Okay, give it some feathering. Press MM, press MM. Let's say we give it feathering 15, and I will keyframe the mask path here. Come back to the beginning, keyframe it again. At the end here, I want to hold the mask and just move it. You see how it's moving? And put it here. Cool. So now it's just going through. When it gets here, at this point, I'm gonna create a new mask. Now we take a rectangle mask and just put it here. So I create the mask here. I will open the mask path, keyframe it, go to, let's say at this point, use my selection tool, choose the layer so I can move the mask and open it like this. Cool, here you are. Very nice. You notice what's happening. It's just going, first of all, it shows you some characters, then open up. These are some ideas I want to give you. You can even make it further in time for the first one and speedier. Oops, and it opens. So this is one other method. Let's go to the third method. The third one, let's make it relatively easy. We delete all the masks. We don't want them. I don't think we have any other keyframe. That's it. And in the middle here, let's center it again. Let's create an ellipse mask. And we click. Let's go to 1 second. And I will click, press Control and Shift and open. As big as possible. Fine. Give it some feathering of 25. That's cool. I will keyframe it. Coming to the beginning here, I will use my selection tool, double click on the mask, and simply make it very small. I'll press Control and Shift and make it very small so it's not seen at all. I will make it smaller even. Here you are. Now let's go back to 100% and play our animation. Cool. This is how you can do it. You notice there are several ways to work with the mask. Fine. Coming here, let's use this one. I will delete this mask and create another mask that is a rectangle mask. I'll just make it as big. That's very fine. So at 1 second, I want the mask to be here. I will open and keyframe the path. Come back to the beginning. Now I will click on the layer so I can move the points. I will use my selection tool. Move this point to this side and move this point to this side. Okay, you can go crazy here and you can do a lot of lovely things. Here you are. The animation is opening very nicely. Let's give it some feathering of 25 maybe. Okay, and look at it. It's pretty nice. Go crazy about it and do a lot of beautiful things. Let's see the other one that I'm proposing to you. And the last one we are going to do here together, you will be using many masks together, and also you will learn how to use the hold keyframe. It's not miracle, it's very easy, and I will show you how. Let's create now the masks. I will choose my layer, choose the rectangle tool, that's okay, and create small masks here. That's one, another one here, and another one here. Let's say Tegra. And yep, at 1 second here, I will press M to get the path, all of them. I will select all the layers and click on the mask path, then come back in the beginning, then choose one of the masks, for example the first one. That's the first one here. Choose my selection tool and just take it up. Choose the second one and just also take it up. Simply choose the third one and take it down, and choose the fourth one and also take it down, and choose the fifth one and take it down. So actually now we have an animation that completely nonsense. It's not happening. But what I'm gonna do, I will open up here. I will start shifting these keyframes in different places. For example, like this. Then I will take all the keyframes. I will select them, creating a lasso around them. I will right click and say toggle hold keyframes. Now hold keyframes is very nice. It is either in this position or in this position, but not in between, meaning there is no interpolation. So it jumps from this position to that position. Let's open up, click outside and play. Notice how it's appearing. Is very cool. They just pop up character by character or sections by sections. Of course, you can play with this. You can change the position of the hold keyframes. So the small trick here is just to select all your keyframes, right click and say toggle hold keyframes. And that's all about hold keyframes. They just, either in this position or the other position. There are very many things you can do with masks. Masks are not always the best solution. There are track mats and there is pre-comps that you can use also to make your job much easier. In the next lecture, we are going to jump in and do the track mats, and it's going to be great. Thanks for listening to me, and I will see you in the next lecture.
Hi guys, and welcome to this new lecture. In this lecture we want to talk about solid layers, what we can do with them, what are they for, how we can use solid layers to create certain shapes, custom shapes. So to create your solid layer, you come to layer and say new and say solid. The name of the solid layer is usually the default color that you have chosen or the color you have chosen. You see, if I change color, the name is changing. So let's go for dark blue, for example. The width and height, that is the size of your solid layer, and it's determined from here. This is the initial size, you would say. It's usually the size of your composition. Of course, you can come and change it, give it any size. If you don't have anything definite in mind, just make it composition size. And let's click OK. Notice what happened. First of all, in the project panel, you have a folder called solids. So After Effects will group all your solids, all the solids that you have created just here. So as long as you have one solid, you can replicate this solid and put it as a layer in all the compositions that you have created. And you can use it, first of all, as a background. You can just lock it, and this is the background color of your composition. It's a background color better than the background color of the composition itself, because you might want to render the composition as no background, and then the background that you given here will not appear in the rendering. We'll see that later in the course, but yet a solid layer will give you a better background with same kind of colors, in fact. So now in the solid layer, what do we have? We have the transform, and that's all. We can use the 5 transformations. So you can come and adjust your layer, give it the size that you want. And it can be used as a background for a section of the screen, for example, or just like a shape that you can move around and do whatever you want with it. Fine. So now let's create another one. Let's create another solid layer. We come to new and we go solid. And this time let's change colors. Let's give it a yellow, something like this. You notice how the name is changing. So now we have solid yellow or yellow solid, and we click OK. Now we have 2 of them. Let's resize this one, and now we have 2 solid layers, just to show you. Now notice you created another one in the solids folder, and it is put as a layer here. Of course, you can come and put another one here and resize it. So actually it works as a layer, but still is a single solid. When you drop that solid, it will cover the whole screen. This is the initial size that you have given it. Let's delete this one. So though I'm resizing every layer, I have a single solid here for all the layers. Cool. Let's say you want to change the color of the solid layer. You select your layer, you go to layer and say solid settings. And in the solid settings, you can change the color to anything you want. That's perfect. You notice how the colors are changing here. Cool. You notice what's happening here. Now there is here affect all layers that use this solid. So here I have 2 layers. If I click on this one, I choose it and change the color to abrupt yellow, you notice that the colors of the layers have changed. If I untick this one, I will be changing the color of a single layer. You notice how it's changing here. Now also it's creating a new layer. Let's click OK for that, and notice here we have a new, not OK to change the colors. If you click, it's an OK. If you remove, is a new. In the folder you have a new solid layer, but in the composition you just changed the color, and of course it changed its name. So this is about how to adjust your layers, change the colors, and also understand that solids are all here. Now what is good about it, that these solids can work across all compositions. Let's create a new composition with the same background. Now we have come to, if I take, let's drop it up, let's take deep blue for example and put it here. I have deep blue over here. If I change the color of deep blue, solid setting, and I say affect all colors, so that's an OK, and go to a white, for example, you notice it has changed in this composition, but also it has changed in this composition. Of course, this is the original size. So this is very good, because if you have it as a background, for example, if I reset it, this is the background, it will become the background for all your compositions. This is very handy when you start doing pre-compositions. We will learn that in the next section, in fact. So this is about the solid layers and how to adjust them. Let's delete this whole. Let's close this composition, delete it from here. I don't like congestions. And let's take only the yellow one and come back
and we say reset in the transform. So it goes back to the original size that you have used to create it. Now, what I can do with a solid layer, the first thing you do with a solid layer is a background, as we said. The second one, there are so many effects and presets that you can use on top of the solid layer. For example, just to show you, you don't need to know that. If I go to generate, it's just to give you a glimpse of what you do with solid layers. If I go to fractal, for example, and I drop it here, of course, we will see all about presets. Now, if you want a fractal background, you can only put a solid layer and apply the effect on the solid layer. You can come and change the effects the way you want now here. Cool. Let's delete this effect. Go back to normal. Now, another use for solid layers, which is somehow the most important. You can use masks to create certain shapes with solid layers. First of all, you have the parametric shapes, that is rectangle. You created now a mask. Now, please, in After Effects, there is shape layers and there is a solid layer with a mask. So if you create a solid layer and put a mask, please, it looks like a shape, but it doesn't behave like a shape. It behaves like a mask. And so now you have a mask with a background color. In fact, it is very far from shape. So please don't call it, I created a shape. You didn't create a shape. You create a solid layer and you created a mask on the solid layer. Now, masks, as we have seen, have their own properties like the mask path. Here you can come and, adjust the size of the mask. Now I'm not playing with the solid layer, I'm using the mask. Come, click, and start playing with the corners to get your shape the way you want it, for example. Cool. Let's delete this mask and we go back to the original. Of course, you can use the other parametric tools such as the ellipse to create a circle or an ellipse. Here you are. Now, the most important here is when we want to use the pen tool. This is when the solid layers with the pen tool, you can create very customizable shapes. So I will choose my solid layer, come to the pen tool and start creating or clicking to create the mask. And of course, now I created a certain shape. That's very practical because I can make it the way I want. This is my boat, for example. Nice boat. And you can, of course, animate it through the mask. If you put mask path here, you keyframe it, and then you come after 1 second, for example. You change the position of the nodes. Here you are. You now have an animation with the mask. That's cool. Like this. Cool. If you run your animation, spacebar, for example, you have this shape changing or morphing to another shape. So this is how you use the solid layers. My greatest interest in this course, I will not be using solid layers unless I'm using them as a background. For example, if I were to do a background here for a lower third, a series of lower thirds, what I will do is to come to layer, say new, solid layer, just give it any size here, change the color to something we can see. Then I will come and, for example, this becomes the background. I will lock it, the background for text that is going to appear or something like this, or maybe other shapes that are going to appear here. Now this is very useful and it's quite good. You don't have to put a shape layer here, so you will use that solid layer. So the concept of solid layer is not about creating, shapes. No, use the shapes themselves. It is about creating backgrounds or certain sophisticated shapes that you want to create custom shapes. Now, the benefit of using a solid layer here will be to be able to use the mask, for example. Let's put a mask here. And then I can use the feathering of the mask. Of course, I can hide the feathering. I can use the opacity. Okay, and I have the mask expansion like you have seen before. Cool. So this is the way to do it. And this is the way you use solid layers. I mean, I would use a solid layer here to make this kind of shape or this kind of background if I want to. Cool. Thank you very much for listening. It has been a long lecture and I hope you have benefited. Now, for the time being, I will use most of the time shapes and not masks to be able to create the shapes. And I will use solid layers with or without masks to create the backgrounds. But of course, think about it. Shape layers is for creating shapes. And solid layers is for creating solids that will act at the background or to apply effects. Masks can mask the shapes, the text, and the solid layers. That's all that I have to tell you about the solid layers, and I hope it was fun, and I will see you in the next lecture. Hi guys, this is Loai with you from After Effects SchoolOnline.com. Hope you're having a lot of fun in this course, and I hope you are learning all the techniques, the methods, and everything you want to learn about After Effects to become the animator you want to be. Now also remember, I'm here to guide you to become an expert animator in After Effects. So please don't hesitate, always ask all the questions that you want, and believe me, I'm here to ensure that you're getting the most benefit of this course. In this lecture, we want to explore track mattes, their effects, how to use them, and simple techniques with track mattes. We will develop our skills during the course. And please remember, track mattes are very important and very much used. Now, everything I will do here will also apply to movies and images. Remember that. And you can work the same principles almost. I will start, and I want to create a shape, a rectangular shape above After Effects. You notice that I cannot see my text anymore because the shape layer is above the text layer. But then there is the track matte here. If you cannot see your track matte, you can come here to transfer controls, show or hide your transfer control, or you can toggle in between the transfer and the switch. I prefer to, show both of them. It's okay. We don't need many keyframes here. You notice first, track matte here cannot be applied on the first layer because track mattes are always applied to the layer immediately above the layer where you want to apply the track matting. So it's obvious the first layer doesn't have anything above. You cannot apply track matte on the first layer. I will apply track matte on the second layer using the layer just above it, which is shape layer 5. I will apply alpha matte. I'll click and choose it. Now my text appears. I will give you a brief explanation how the track mattes operate on the alpha channel. We come to the RGB channel bottom here, and if you click, you will find out you have RGB and red, green, blue, and alpha. If you click on red, the white and its intensity will show you how much red here, you can see the red bar, you have in your layers. These layers could be text layers or images or movies, is all the same. If you go to green, it will show you how much green you have in your layers. And you notice now the intensity is down. It means you don't have as much green as the red, but still you have green. If I go to blue, everything disappeared. It means these layers don't have any blue in them. If I go to alpha, now the intensity here tells me which pixels are not transparent. So the characters you see here are totally not transparent. Of course, you can have transparency in PNG images, for example, some movies or some images, normal images, you can have transparency, and it will show you here the transparency. So the track matte will work on the non-transparent pixel. Any non-transparent pixel within the track will appear. This is about alpha matte. Now, I will go back to RGB itself. You notice my layer now can only be seen within the track itself. That's the key of it. If I take it out of the track, it cannot be seen. Within the track, it can be seen. Fine, I will undo that. Now, a cool animation will be here. I come to After Effects, the text layer, open position. I will say like after 1 second, I want the position to be here. I go before to 0 and then move my text, for example, upward. Notice how it's disappearing. Then when it comes down and it is within the limits of the track, that's the shape layer 5, it can appear. That's a cool animation now. I will do the same for School Online. So the first thing I need to deselect, otherwise I will be creating masks. I will click and create the shape. It's better to do the shape a bit bigger. And of course, I need the shape to go just above the layer I want to track matte. And then I will apply alpha matte. Here you are. I can do the same animation also for School Online. I will select the text layer, press P, keyframe the position at the end here, and in the beginning I want it to come down. Here you are. It's done. If you're on a RAM preview, now we have used alpha matte. Of course, it has its benefits, and it has its non-benefit. For example, if you add more animations here, you want to move school online to the right, then of course it will disappear, but it could be an animation that you might want. For example, something like this or something like this here is enough. In fact, here you are, it comes in and move to the left and right. This is about Alphamate, and this is how you use them. Notice also we have two icons that appeared next to the layers. The first icon, the lower one, it shows that this layer is track matted, and the above one, it shows that this layer is a track. And we have used here Alpha Mate. Thanks for listening, and in the next lecture we will work on the alpha inverted matte. I hope in the previous lecture you understood very well how to use the alpha matte, because now we want to use the alpha inverted matte, which is almost the same, but will give you some more flexibility if you would like. Now, to use the alpha inverted matte, I want to create a rectangle under the shape layer that I want to hide. I will use this one and go to School Online, and now I will apply alpha inverted. From School Online to Shape Layer 5, I will apply Alpha Inverted. You see, nothing has happened. Because now, when I apply Alpha Inverted Matte, my layer, School, is seen when it is outside the track itself. So this is a track. As long as my layer is outside the track, it is very well seen. If I move my layer, you notice here it becomes invisible. Anywhere else, it is visible. I will get it back where it is. Let's make a small animation here to understand the concept. I will use position on School Online, keyframe it at that time. That's okay, it's appearing. And in the beginning, for example, I can take it inside the track itself, and then of course it will disappear. So now it's appearing only when it is outside. Here you are. Cool. Now I can do the same for After Effects. I will take the shape layer and put it outside. You notice I'm making them a bit bigger, because really I don't know where I'm gonna move the After Effect. You notice now the layer is just above, so I can directly come and apply Alpha Inverted. Here you are. And then at the end here, I will keyframe. Let's open the position for the text layer and come to the beginning, hold my text layer and put it inside the track. Now it disappeared. So here you are, you have a very smooth animation. Cool. There are differences and benefits from the inverted one. I tend to use the inverted track matte a lot, because when you finish and get your text out, you have the ability, for example, to move your text anywhere on the screen and it will still be visible. So if I would like to do this animation, for example, I keyframe it here, and to stabilize it, come to, after a few seconds or a few frames, hold it and move it on this side. You notice now it is quite an animation where it comes out, wait a bit, and comes out again. So it's more practical than the, of course, the alpha matte itself. But it also depends on what you want to do. We can do the same here, and keyframe, go to the next keyframe, hold and take it out this side, for example. Here you are. Cool. Notice a layer can have a single track matte, and a layer can be a track or a track matte, but cannot be a track and a track matte. Meaning, if I come to shape layer 5 and I track matte it to another shape layer, now you're having a lot of problems here. Though it will allow you to do that, but then you will have a lot of problems here. Sometimes we can do that, and it's really practical to do certain things when you're using images or movies. So this is about track matte. Let's make the layer appear. Here you are. Maybe I didn't mention that when a layer becomes a track, it is, switch off. You cannot see it anymore. The eyeball here goes away. This is all about track matte in alpha matte and alpha inverted. The Luma matte and the Luma inverted are very useful. They will use now the transparency levels. It means the alpha channel levels. We will see that further on in the course. Now you have learned two methods to make text appear on your screen, the masks and the track mattes. And later on we will see how to use the pre-composition, that's my favorite, to make text pop up on your screen. See you then. Hi guys, hope you're having a lot of fun. In the last two lectures I explained to you about the track matte for alpha and alpha inverted, So I hope I was very clear. If you have any questions, remember, I'm here to help you. Just pose all the questions you want, and even you can go further and ask more advanced questions. If you are doing a project, I will be with you to answer you and to give you all the information that you want to have. Now remember that we have been using track mattes here, and we have only moved the text itself or the track matted layer. What happens if you move the track itself? And we can have animations using the track. For example, this animation here, this composition, I removed all the keyframes just to make it clear. Let's open the shape layer here. Let's open its rotation, for example. We go to 1 second, initiate the rotation keyframe. Let's put the anchor point on the corner, and you can rotate. So now you have a swipe in, a rotation swipe in. It's not marvelous, okay, I'm just trying to show you, but you can use a rotation, for example. You can also use, if you do the rotation also on this side, you notice you will have a different kind of animation. Let's put it over here. Now let's put it over here. Okay, we keyframe, come to here, and then we can take it from outside. And here you are, you have a different kind of animation. If you run through it, not bad, it's okay. So this is about the rotation. You can also use scale. You can also use scale. I'll show you an example. Let's say we open S here and keyframe at 1. Come to the beginning and make the scale here, for example, 0. And here you are, it's scaling in. If you like that, fine. What I will do is to change the position of the anchor point to put it in the middle. It will become more interesting. And you have just opening everything. Let's put it at 0. It's opening the layer, and you can see the characters. It's pretty cool, pretty nice. And having all these possibilities to animate the track or animate the layer itself will give you lots of good animations. Go to After Effects and start playing with the track mattes. And don't worry, you can't get in trouble. All you can do is just close the program and start afresh. Okay, I will see you now in the next lectures, where we are going to develop our skills in popping text on the screen. Hi guys, this is Loai with you from AfterEffectsSchoolOnline.com, and I hope you're enjoying this course, and I'm doing my best so you can really benefit the utmost possible. In this lecture and the following lectures, maybe 1 or 2 of them, you are going to explore and learn about pre-composition and how to pop text on the screen with using pre-composition. But it's important that you note that using pre-comps is not limited only to popping text or shapes on your screen. Pre-comps are used in After Effects for many applications, including presets and effects and lots of other things. For now, we are going to narrow the use of pre-compositions to popping text on the screen. But nevertheless, what you will learn here will take you a long way in structuring and really creating very powerful animations. Also, I would like to show you here that in the pre-comps project, you have all the compositions that we are going to create now, but these are better done. I took my time to do them. Nevertheless, you will also get, using pre-comps, if you open, this is project file 2, only 2 for you, and you will find everything that we are going to work on now. So let's start creating pre-composition. I will choose After Effects and right click and say pre-compose. Now, new composition name. It will be creating a new composition for me, and here it will ask if I want to move the attributes. That's the only option in fact available. And if I want to adjust the composition duration the same as the root composition, and to open the new composition, I will click OK. Now I am in the new composition. You notice it's called After Effects Comp2, and since I opened in a folder, it's around here. Now notice it's a whole composition that has the total size of 1280 by 720, and it's full resolution, and the timing is 10 seconds now. Cool. If I come back to my main composition, I notice that the layer has been replaced by a pre-comp. You notice the icon here is like an icon of a movie, so it's a pre-comp now, and this pre-comp is very big. I don't need it to be spread all over the place. All I want is this section. Fine. So I will undo everything here. I will come back, so I can use a region of interest. So I will determine the region that interests me in this composition. I can manipulate it and make it as small as I want. For example, I will take enough for the layer itself, and I will come to composition and say crop comp to region of interest. So it will crop the comp to the region of interest I have decided. Now, there is no way back here. It's not like you can say, oh, I change the region of interest, make it bigger. What you have to do if you want to change is right click, go to composition setting and reset it from here to whatever you want. Okay, now here I have only my text. Go back to the main composition. You notice that my text now is inside a pre-comp. You can see it, and it's really pretty, you know, tidy. That's very nice. That's very good. You will use this technique all over the places later on. Then I want to create the animation in here. I will open position. We make simple animations to understand, and let's say after 13 frames, I will keyframe the position, come back here, hold and take it down. So now I have a simple animation, pretty simple. I'll go back to my main composition, and I notice if I run it, it is running. I did not use any track mattes or masks or anything. It's very simple. Fine. I will do the same for school online. Let's right click, pre-compose. I say okay. I choose the second option, of course. I come to region of interest, and you will crop it like this, the way you want. I need the upper border to be exact. Fine. I will come to composition and say crop comp to region of interest. Here we are. Now I will do the animation from here. I will come to 13 frames we said. Open position, keyframe the position, go back to 0, take it and take it up, I believe, or take it down. No, take it up. Okay. So I have a simple animation. Let's go back to my main composition. I'll find now also the layer here, the text layer has been replaced by a pre-comp, and it's displayed here. If I take it down here and I play, here you are. You have done the same animation very simply using just pre-comps. What's the benefit of that? First of all, it's much simpler and it's easier to be done. You don't need the masks. There are very few keyframes. You don't need track mattes. It's neat here. But of course, I'm warning you, this is not the only solution. Sometimes you have to use track mattes, and sometimes it's better. So you have created a simple animation using pre-comps. Let's complicate things. Let's create a new composition, whatever we call it, comp 4. Let's take new text, for example, motion, and we take another one, duplicate that one, take it down, we say graphics. Cool. Take both text and make them smaller. We go to character, let's make them smaller, let's put them together, and here I will pre-compose now using both texts. I will right click, say pre-compose, pre-composition 9, that's okay with me, and then come to the region of interest and really crop. Okay, adjust it the way I want, very fine, and go to composition, say comp crop to region of interest. Now I'm gonna do the animation here. I will show it, for example, at 50%. Cool. We open the position for both layers. Let's go to 13 frames. That's okay. We keyframe. We come back here. Let's say we want motion to come from this side and graphics to come from this side. And we want to enable blur. And let's see what's happening now. Cool. I will go back to my main pre-comp. And when this is coming, After Effects School Online, I'm going to take pre-comp 9. That's the last one, pre-comp 9 we work with. Let's go back to the main one. Take pre-comp 9 and drop it inside the timeline. I will drop it on top. Now I have motion graphics here. It's very big. What I can do is to resize it. Simple. Okay. Let's make it a bit bigger. So now I can really play with it. Let's put it on this side or this side. Yeah, cool. Let's play. Go back to the beginning and play. Now they are coming together, but I don't want them to come together. After this one is done, I'm gonna take this and put it here. So here you are. The beauty here is, like, I have an animation. I can put it anywhere and the animation will still work. I don't have any track mattes, any masks or anything. Of course, it has its limitations. The first limitation is I don't have keyframes here. So the timing of this animation is within pre-comp 9. So if I want to change the timing, I will have to come here. Nevertheless, there are better methods to change the timing, and I will teach you these ones. After doing all this, that's very fine. So now we have our 2 or 3 compositions. Our main composition is pretty neat. We can also introduce other animations on the compositions themselves. For example, if I open a P for position, I can keyframe the position here. After just a few seconds or even few frames, I'll just take it here. So notice now what is happening. So not only I can create animations within the pre-composition, but I can animate the pre-comps here. Now I'm calling everything pre-comp because I use the pre-comp options, you know. I can also come and pre-compose all this if I want, if it's necessary, and add more compositions here. Now, not every composition that is here is called pre-composition. You know, it really doesn't make much sense. So these are compositions, but we pre-compose, so we did the composition before. That's it. So thanks for listening, and in the next lecture you will have more exercise about pre-compositions and how to manipulate them. Hi guys, this is Loai with you from aeschoolonline.com. In this lecture we are going to create a complete project using pre-comps and other animation also, but I need to show you what you can do with pre-comps, and from there on you can be on your own and do extraordinary projects. The pre-comp project is with you, the one that I worked very slowly on it. You can find it in pre-comp project, but we are going to work in the project lecture here where we don't have any files yet. So I will start by creating the first composition, that is 1280 by 720, and I'll give it 10 seconds, it's okay, and call it a pre-comp dash project for the lesson. Cool. Now this is my pre-composition and the background is black. That's okay. I will start by putting some text. I will use the Nexalite. I will write, for example, motion graphics, motion, and remove the uppercase. Cool. And no bold. Make it smaller. Yes. Here, duplicate that and make graphics. Now we want motion and graphic to be the same size. I think that will do, like this. Cool. I will take these two. Oh, let's correct the mistake here. It's graphics, I was wondering, and motion will go bigger. Fine. Then I will take these two here and I will pre-compose and call pre-comp motion. So notice all my pre-compositions and compositions are coming inside this folder here. Being in the pre-comp, I will delimit it, use the area of interest. That's okay, in fact. Cool. Come to composition, say crop composition. Now I want to animate it. I will come at let's say 11 frames here. Open the position. That's the easiest way for now. And keyframe both of them. Here you are. I'll come back to the beginning. I'll take the first text and move it to the left, and take the second text and move it to the right. Cool. I will put motion blur and enable it in the composition. Play a preview here. Not bad. Come back to my main composition. You can see that I have the composition here and it start motion graphics. That's very good. It's a bit big. Let's make it smaller. I will make it smaller like this. Okay, there are no keyframes here. Now after it comes in, let's run it. It comes in, and at 1 second, for example, here, what I want to do is to open the rotation, keyframe the rotation, go back to just a bit and rotate it 180 degrees, I think so. Actually, no, we want to rotate it minus 90 degrees. Yes, and in the same time now, after it rotates, I will press Shift and P, keyframe the position, move a bit here, and hold it and take it to the side here. That's it. So this is our animation. You notice how we combined the animations all together. You have the animation within the composition that you can change anytime, and you have keyframes here and animation for the rotation and the position within the main composition. Fine. So when it arrives here, now I want to create some more text. I will start by putting the text here, and this is very big. Let's make it small. Okay, we click, or I control enter, and I will duplicate once, take my selection tool, twice, selection tool, and here you are. From AE, for example, control enter, double click, school online. Of course, you can put any text you like. I think you have enough of school online and so on. I will move the snapping, put this one here on top, that's where I want it, and this one I will select them all, come to align them left, and distribute them. That's okay, that's not bad. Fine. I will come now and pre-compose all of them. I will call here like from, that's okay, and I have the pre-comps now. I'm in the pre-comp. I will choose the area of interest, give it some space here, take it down, open it more, give it some space so we can see it, coming in. Cool, that will be enough. Then I will come to composition and say crop to comp. Fine. I will come at few seconds, maybe 10, that will be good. Open the position again, keyframe the position, and then at the beginning here I want from to come from this side. In fact, all of them, I will select all of them to come from this side, and even from to come from here. That's very fine. I want to test and see, is the speed okay? Not bad, the speed is not bad, but from starts, then there is AE, then there is school, then there is online. That's it. If you run the animation now, cool, we give them motion blur all together and test it again. Okay, not bad. Let's go to our main pre-composition or composition, and we bring these ones here, but we don't want this animation, it's a bit big. Let's make it smaller. We don't want this animation to start from here. We want it to start as soon as this guy stands here. Okay, this one will start. So notice what's happening between pre-comps, and cool, not bad. I will come over here and I want to put a new text. I will say awesome, and then duplicate it. We say simple, small capitals, and here we write techniques. I hope you like my techniques, seriously. Now awesome, let's make it bold, for example. Simple, let's make it very big, to be as big as awesome. Now this is awesome. Then we can put techniques here and make it as big as simple. Yeah, not bad. Okay, let's align them and see. We come to align, we align them left, and maybe distribute them. Cool. I will take the three of them and pre-compose and say here it is awesome. Yep, we forgot the space, we put the space. Here you are. Then arriving here, we need to determine the area of interest. I will do that. I'm gonna take this one up a bit. Cool. I will come in the beginning, go to 10 frames will do. Open the position, keyframe the positions, but I'm gonna go back just a bit here and take awesome a bit further. Then go to the beginning. Awesome will come from the bottom. Okay, simple will come from this side, and techniques will come from this side. Then I can go composition, crop composition. Let's see our animation. Not bad. Of course, awesome will come first, then techniques, Then the other one, let's see what's happening here. Did we make it? I will go to preview. Not bad. You have the bouncing of awesome. That's cool. I will go to the main pre-composition, and of course this one is gonna come after this layer has settled. Okay, so it starts here and we'll put it here. Cool. Let's look at our animation now. It's coming in. Awesome technique. Fine. Now to make it more fun, I'm gonna take a shape, and while I'm here, everything is here. I'm gonna take that shape and make it pretty big. I like the color here. Fine. And that shape in the beginning, let's open position. It will be, they're coming in. That shape will be keyframed, and then we move a bit and we keyframe it again. We go back to the beginning, we can hold it and move it backward here, and here you are. Let's look at it. Cool. And then the shape will cover everything. The shape is coming too soon, give it some time. So let's add some text now. We add beautiful. Cool. And we put it here. We duplicate this one, is the right size. We write effective. That's okay. Let's make them a bit bigger to fill the whole space. I will come here and pre-compose the two layers. Pre-compose and say here awesome or beautiful, whatever, anyone you want. Beautiful. Then when coming here, I can work on the area of interest. That will be okay. Cool. That's it. Composition, crop composition. Now I need to animate these ones. First of all, I'll take care of the anchor points. Let's put them in the middle. We do snapping to be very precise. And also here, we can snap it in the middle. Fine. Effective, I'm going to open rotation and give it -90 or -180 or +80. It doesn't matter. I like that. So it's coming up upside down. So we'll select both of them, go to few frames, just few frames, 9, and press P. Keyframe them here. Come back to the beginning. One comes from above. We need the selection tool. And one comes from down. Let's look at the timing. Is it good enough or they are slow? Okay, that's okay. Then after some time here, let's say 1 second, we are going to open the rotation, keyframe the rotation here a bit. After that, we're gonna put it back to 0. It goes back to normal. Here you are. And it goes back to normal. I like that. Then when we come here, we have beautiful. Of course, we don't want to start here. So this one will come as soon as it finished coming. You have beautiful coming in. And here you are. All your animation is cool. Done in 10-15 minutes while explaining to you. Now, honestly, if you come to the composition setting and you change the background here to something dark gray, the whole composition will have much more meaning. Okay, so the shape layer needs to change colors. I will make it a bit lighter and it will do. Okay, here you are. Let's look at our animation. Fantastic. It's working. Now you learned a lot here, believe me. Now the first thing you learned that we can pre-compose. So either I can set the text here and pre-compose them, or create a composition with the text and put it here. And how to animate the compositions using keyframes in the main composition. Now notice how neat is your comp. There are not 55,000 layers. Anytime you want to change a comp, all you have to do is to come to it and double click, and here you are within the pre-comp, and you can change anything you want. If you want to change the motion, for example, just double click on it. It's over here, and you can change whatever you want, including the text. Thanks for listening. This was a good practice for using pre-composition and creating a whole motion graphic. Small project, but still it's a good project. See you in the next lecture.
Hi guys, this is Loai with you from aeschoolonline.com, and welcome to the second challenge. I challenge you to do this animation. It starts from here. I am a motion graphic artist, and hire me. So it's simple.
in fact, it's not very easy, it's not very simple, it's really a challenge. You have learned everything you need to learn to execute such animation. Now, in the beginning, it might seem very difficult. In the beginning, you might think, oh, wow, how did he do that? Oh, yeah, he's using a lot of tricks and tips. I am not using any tricks and tips. I am using less than what I taught you. The secret here is to put your mind and try to understand exactly what you have learned, how you can use keyframes, how you can use pre-compositions, and how you can use masks to achieve such a animation. Actually, I give you a tip. I did not use here track mattes at all, but you can use track mattes. It can make it very easy. So this is your challenge. Please get on it. Please try to do it. It will give you a lot of skills, thinking about it and trying to do it not at 100%, but as much as you can. And then in the next lecture, we will go through the tutorial and I will show you how I've done this. Maybe I will do it even differently. See you then. Hi guys, this is Luai with you from aeschoolonline.com. I hope you already checked my website, aeschoolonline.com, and also my YouTube channel, AESO, and you found something to benefit from. If you didn't, please message me through the Udemy messaging system and let me know what would you like to see on the website or even in the course so I can put it there. My dream is to give you the utmost benefit from this course and tell you everything I know about After Effects and how I go about it and how sometimes I spend days doing, great animations that most of the time they are contracts from advertising agencies that unfortunately I cannot show in this course because they are the property of somebody else. In this lecture, we want to do our challenge. We want to resolve our challenge. It's pretty easy, pretty simple, by the way, I dare to say. And you have learned all the techniques. And I will show you that I didn't use any trick at all. So let's start. First, we want to show I am a motion, then graphic artist, then the line straighten up, and then it moves out. For that, I put all the challenge here. You can download this project file in challenge section 2. So this is the original one that you're seeing, and together we're going to build a new one that you will find down here. Now we are going to create it. I will close this composition. I will say close all. The composition is closed. I will create a new composition and we call it main. Let's make it 10 seconds. We can change that later, no problem. The width is 1280 by 720. Here you are. Cool. Now we have our first composition. I'm going to start typing in. I will choose Roboto bold, but not italic, or even black will do. And here, let's do 192. We'll see it's too big. So we'll reduce it. That's cool. So that's one. I'll duplicate this one and move it. Then we say yam and Control Enter if I want. Duplicate it. Move it. I am A and duplicate this one, for example, and come and say motion. That's the first what we have on the screen. Well, the font is okay, but I want to make it a bit bigger. Here you are. Yeah, that's nicer. I'm gonna align them a bit. Let's say I need to align them like this. Okay, then I'll take them. I'll try to put them somehow in the middle. I'll take the last two and duplicate them only. I will come over here and I'll say graphics. If you can see here, you can look around here and you see what you're typing. Control Enter, and then select the selection tool, move it, move this one, and this one is artist, right? Artist. Cool. Now we have aligned them. We have our text. This is, like I said in the previous lectures, in fact in the previous section, it is you can set it up and then start animating. So now it's okay. Let's move them in the middle. Cool. I will create a solid layer here to make the line. I will come to layer, say new, and say solid. Now in the solid layer, I already done a proof for that before I start. I will make the width 1400 to make it slightly larger than the composition, so if I rotate it, I don't see the extremities, and the height only 15. And I click OK, and just come in the middle. I can hold it and just put it in between. That's cool for now. I will take the I am a motion, so I will pre-compose, you guessed it, say motion here. And press enter. This is the pre-comp now for motion, pre-comp motion. I will come to the region of interest and crop them. You know, there is no magic here. It's very simple and very easy. Just learning how to think. And this is how you become, you know, a good artist in motion graphics. Then I will come to composition. I say crop composition. Fine. Now I want these ones to come from under. I need very little time here. This is 10 seconds is too much. So what I will do, I will take my timeline indicator and take it to 5 seconds. Cool. Now you have here work area end, and you have here work area begin or start. I will take the work area end and bring it to my timeline indicator. A better way to do that is just to press N. My timeline indicator is stopping at 5, and I want this composition to become 5 seconds. Bringing in the work area end to the timeline indicator, I will come to the work area. That's now the work area. I will right click and say trim comp to work area. And here you are now, your composition is 5 seconds. And we really don't need more than 5 seconds. Fine, I will come to, let's say, a few frames. 10 frames will do. I will select all the layers, press P for position and keyframe the position. Come back to the beginning and keyframe again the position. Take everything out, down. Cool. First of all, you need to test the timing. Are you happy from the timing? Is it fast enough or not? Here you are. Not bad. I will make it a bit speedier. Okay, cool. It's coming in, and I will make speedier here. Then later on, what you want to do after a few seconds or 1 second maybe, you want it to go down. So you will keyframe here. That's the stable position now. Nothing happens in between these two keyframes. But what will happen is after some time, like a few frames, I will take them all down. So now I have an entry and exit animation. It's entering and then it's exiting. Cool. If you want to have more time in between, that's fine. You select all these keyframes, move them to the left, for example, and see, like, is it working? You wait, it disappears. That's not bad. Fine. Having the entry, that's cool, but what I want to do here is I should come first, then motion, or I am, then A later, and then motion. If I play, I am a motion. Fine. But now I don't want them to exit that way. I want the motion to exit first. So I will take the keyframes of the motion and bring them here. And then the I am, I bring it here. And I will adjust them. You know, it's the pyramid way. Now, this is the easiest solution to do. And sometimes it's very practical, just like now. And if you run your animation, I am a motion. Wow, that's pretty nice and pretty easy to be done. Fine, this has been done. I will go to graphic and artist, and also I will pre-compose. So I saved myself a lot of work for masks and track mattes and whatever using pre-composition. So this is a pre-comp, for example, artists. Press enter. It comes here. This is the pre-composition. Let's make this one, take it down. And I want to use the region of interest. Notice this one is gonna come from top. Okay, so I have to be careful on the top. And I will come and say, okay, composition, crop to region of interest. Come few frames. Let's say 10 we took, I think, last time. Fine. Take the two layers, select them, press P, keyframe the position here, come back to the beginning, and take them out. That is up now. Cool. First of all, let's test its speed. It's good I remembered. Well, it's speedy enough, it's okay. I'll go to 2 seconds, and I'm gonna take these two keyframes. I will Control C the keyframes and Control V them. I will take also these two keyframes, Control C and Control V. So when I copy and paste, it will paste starting from the timeline indicator. So it will paste the first keyframe, the second keyframe, the way they were copied. Now, this is not a good animation because it's moving in between here. I need to reverse these keyframes. So this one should come first and this one should come second. I can select both of them and start moving them. That's one way to do it. But there is a very easy way I'm going to show you now, is to right click. You select your keyframes, the one that you want to reverse. Right click, go to Keyframe Assistant and say Time Reverse Keyframes. This is a very nice trick and many people don't use it. Now start using it. When I say Time Reverse, the one on the right came on the left and the one on the left came on the right. As simple as this. If I had many keyframes, then the last one will come in the beginning and the first one will come at the end, and we'll go on from right to left. Let's try our animation now. It comes in, waits, and it comes out. Very nice. Now I want artist to come first. So graphics should be delayed. I can delay it to here. 1, 2. Cool. And the reverse artist should come. No, graphics should come out first. But here I have very little time, so I'm going to put it that way. This, and take the keyframes and make them near to each other. Here you are. So artist will come first, graphics, and then graphics goes out, artist goes out. Let's see my main composition now. If I look at it, they are all on top of each other. I will take the motion one, that's here, this one here, and this one on this side. Okay, we will adjust them when they are all showing. Fine, I think it's done. And here you are. Now notice this composition is very long till the end. I can double click on it. It will open the composition. Come for 4 seconds. That's enough. Let's take 5 seconds like the other one. Press N. So I will bring in the work area and to the timeline indicator. Right click and say trim comp to work area. Here you are. And it's pretty neat. I like neatness. Okay. Now you notice what's happening here. Cool. So I want the motion to start, and then artist will start. Let's decide when it's starting. So when it's starting the motion coming out, I want the artist to come in. I press shift to snap it on the timeline indicator. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is slow. Take it here. So 1, 2, 3, come on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, up, up, up. Nice. This is very nice. I like it very much. Cool. Now I'm gonna take the 3 layers here, press the rotation and rotate them 10 degrees. Now notice how I've worked. I did them straight first, then I rotated, because if I rotated first, now I have to take care of the rotation everywhere and stories. So this is an easier way to do things. First do them straight or horizontal and then do them. Cool. I'm very happy from this animation. Now what I want to do is to come to the orange layer here and start, opening it up. So how will I do? When this is finished, it comes to this time, for example. Now the animations are finished. Just here, it's coming up. I want to start working on the orange layer. So the first thing I will do, I will open the rotation, keyframe the rotation. Maybe I'll take it back a bit. Yep. And then just few frames, put it to 0. So now it's straight again. I will open Shift S, that's the scale, and keyframe it here, so there is no change. And when I come just few frames, I want to make it very big. Here you are. Cool. Let's see what we have. So they start, and then they open. Let's add something nice here. Instead of starting with an oblique layer, we are going to keyframe the rotation here and put it at 0, so it's straight, and then here we are going to make it 10 degrees. So notice now it starts, it turns, then it opens, and the rest will come. Cool. So now that it has opened, I am at this level here. I will add the text here, hire me, if you remember. So I will take the text, I will go to Roboto Black Italic. So I will type here, hire me. It's one word. Cool. The font is small. Let's make it like 200. Yep, that's okay. I like it like this. Hire me. Just in the middle, we can come to align and align it in the middle. Now I want to create the animation here. First, I will create the masks. So I select my layer and make the first mask for hire, and another mask. It's good to try to make the masks the same size. Hire me. Cool. So at this stage, I will open the masks, press M here, that will open the mask path, keyframe the mask path, fine. I will go back just a bit, okay, and keyframe again. Now at this level, what I want to do, I will choose mask 1, press the V, the selection, and take the mask up. And take the mask up. Here you are. Press Shift, and then I will select mask path 2 and take it down. And here you are, you have a nice animation. If it's too speedy, you can make it, you know, longer in time. Let's look at all our work. I will come to preview and say okay. Now it's showing us the masks. We remove it. It turns back, and Hire Me comes in. You know, Hire Me is coming up very nice. Now there is a small trick I added here. I will create a third mask and just put it here. Okay, I need this mask to go down at this level, for example. Now this mask, what we are going to do is to make this mask a subtract mask. Each will remove them. So I will zoom in to the mask. I press alternate, point the mouse where I want to zoom in, and I will zoom in. I will double click on the mask. Then at this stage, I will keyframe the mask path. It's here. And maybe I'll make it smaller to start with. Then I move a frame or two, double click the mask path and make it up to here. Even here, I will adjust it here. So now this is your animation. You see the mask opens. You can make it slow so you can see it and move it forward. Now let's go back to the beginning and press enter. First, let's go to 100%. Deselect everything, press F2. Go back to the beginning of the composition and it will start. Fine, that's it. It's beautiful. And you have done your first challenge. It wasn't much. I am sure you have done it. I am sure you tried your best. And it has been easy. It's not so hard. What you want to do is to understand how motion graphics, one stage at a time. So notice how we went about it. First, I tried to lay out my text. Then I turned it around. Then I put the additional animations for Hire Me and opening the solid layer. Thanks for listening, and I hope this was a good challenge for you and you managed to do much more. Please take this composition, take this project and start doing a lot of changes. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next lecture or in the next section.